Hey, Hound Dogs, I'm David Hankins,
I'm Paul Hankins. I'm Trevor Hankins.
And I'm Julia Canon.
and you're on the air with Power Squared. This week, we're going to talk about an issue that's coming out that next Wednesday is Power Squared issue number 22 called Family
Hey.
Affair.
Part 1.
Part 1, yes.
Hey.
Everything we do is a two-parter for the most part up until now. Rachel, who drew this, couldn't be with us tonight. Um, so we'll skip over asking her what she thought about it. But basically, it's the parents come to visit the boys, and the boys have, as we all know, have their own sort of secrets, and we find out they're not the only ones
That's
that
right.
have secrets. So go from there.
Yeah, I would like to point out that the color scheme of the parents, I did not get a color palette for them because Rachel gave me free reign. So it was a bit of a whiplash to see a color palette posted on the preview when you guys were posted about it.
Oh, well, she didn't. Well, yeah, she did a character designs.
Yeah, but like, cause like I think this was when I was like, hey, like, do we have a color palette for the parents? She's like, nope, have fun. I'm like, fair enough.
That's why they're totally different. No. Well, yeah. So she had done character designs. I don't know why she didn't pass those on to you. But
I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with like
it's
brain died. Understandable. Have a
well,
nice
she
day.
also didn't like. I've noticed before on some of the character designs, she'll have like this color, this color, this color. She didn't really do that.
Mm.
So it was just really the the characters. I don't recall there being any sort of
Yeah.
coloring with it. I think it was like head size and things like that, but it wasn't
Hmm.
anything too involved. Um, so yeah, you did fine with the coloring.
No, I was just like confused for a second. Like, oh, I guess I don't know.
Um, okay, so I assume we've all read the issue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have any
Yes.
comments about it? That we want to share?
Well,
Seems like.
good.
Huh. It's like when I'm read, I'm just like, yep, this checks out. Of course, like they're not like because I think it was apparent in the very beginning, like they weren't really, I guess, good with their parents to a certain degree. Hence why they're kind of like out of college in the first place.
Well, they've been estranged from their parents.
Hmm.
Their parents have been busy with, which I think they explained in the book.
Yeah.
Busy with work, and they were sort of always kind of shuffled off to some relative or nanny
Yeah,
or
I
somebody
think
to
that
take care of
was
them.
yeah that was also established when they got their powers during that flashback because like I think something happened and they were just like
They
wandering
couldn't
into the woods.
they didn't feel like they could talk to them about the issue they were
Yeah.
going through. Yeah, the parents really suck in this.
It's like, yeah, they make money, but is your kid okay?
They don't care about that so much. Yeah, they're more devoted to other things. Yeah,
Yeah.
without
Yeah.
giving anything away.
I will say though, for that cover in particular, I'm pretty proud of it just because of like the detail on the wall. Because this is around the time I started playing around with Clip Studio a lot, especially with coloring.
Hmm.
So I was able to at least get some like rendering and detail stuff like a bit better
Yeah.
around that time.
Okay.
Yeah, that came out pretty well.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, it's interesting exploring a different side of the boys' lives.
Yes.
And, yeah.
And I'll say this: it's typically something I write is very talky,
Yeah.
but then it sets up the next issue, which will come out
Yes.
later this year. So, but it's setting up things. You get, I think, a little better sense of the relationships, and we when you guys did the artist
Takeover.
what
Takeover? Or,
tier.
yeah, tier
Yeah,
list.
you put her parents up pretty high, as I recall, and
Oh.
we established the mother's really
Hmm.
very sweet. Though she does have like somebody working for her at the house.
Yeah.
She's at least cares about her daughter.
Yeah.
So I think that comes out a little bit here too.
Mhm. Yeah, because I think at least as with Jennifer, like not to spoil anything, it's like it's one of those things where like you kind of notice how different parents have different parenting styles as well. So like I feel like that also like comes off a lot too during this story as well.
Yeah.
So I will ask how your parents are. Because I don't want to know. Yeah, I think it does show that, you know, parents, that there are different styles.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes some parents are kind of, hands off when they want to be, and when they want to be, I'm here, take care,
Yeah.
look at me. And it's like, well, you haven't been there so much before.
Yeah.
It can happen. I don't know where I actually. I'm not trying to make a statement about my own parents or anything like that. uh, but I think we all have, and I'm sure the boys can testify to this. We all have issues with our parents.
Yeah.
Get out. It's a thankless job.
That's not my business.
Well, except I'm sure you and your parents get along great.
No, I think it's kind of funny whenever like I hear other like, stories of like other parents, and then it's like oh yeah, like my parents are pretty strict. How are yours? Well, my dad was proud of me when I punched a kid in school. I don't know how that works out. And they're like, wait, you didn't get in trouble? I'm like, no.
So you punched a kid out at school?
Okay, to be fair, he took something from me, so I took it. So I tried to take it back.
That's fine.
It was third grade.
No, my stepfather made the same sort of. I didn't punch a kid, but he was sort of like, take care of yourself if you have to.
Wait, were they this kind of like, okay, did you get into a fight? Did you win? Okay, moving on.
Yeah, no, I actually never got to a fight, but it was sort of a stressful time in the schools I was going to, and so he was just sort of saying, if you defend yourself, is basically what he was telling me. Don't start something, but if you don't be a pushover.
It's the golden rule.
Yeah, it never came up for me, but I can imagine that you don't want your kids to be just like picked on either.
Yeah.
So,
Kids are mean.
Yes.
They are.
Yes, they are.
And a lot of that stems from the parents being kind of. But so I think Marty and Eli are actually pretty good kids based on the parenting that they've had.
Yeah.
They have a good sense of right and wrong,
Yeah.
right? And they're, they go out of their way to help someone in the book.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I like the idea that they're sort of thought of as being heroic, but no one knows they actually have superpowers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I think like just when I was like reading it too, it's like it's also a sense of like I think like with any family, especially between parent and like kids, is always that sense of like one a generation gap into a crap ton of miscommunication. And I'm assuming with Marty and Eli and how his parents are and how like they aren't around as much. Obviously, there's going to be like a lot of like miscommunication of like whether they really care or not, if like which genuinely they do, but them also just being like teenagers turning into adults. Of course, there's like a lot of confusing times of that too.
yeah, and you also want to sort of you're not. I don't think having your parents convince you at college is like a woohoo. It's like
especially if like your parents' mentality is like, well, if you don't go to college, you're gonna be homeless, and it's like that sounds like more like a threat than encouraging.
No, but I just think they're
doing their best.
Well, I think the boys are doing their best. I think the parents are just sort of
Old school.
Well, I think I've told the story to the boys, but sometimes your parents want you to do something when you start doing it. It's like, well, why are you doing that? You told me to do it.
Yeah.
So.
It's like changing the rules years later. I was like, when did I ever tell you to do that? When I was a child? What are you talking about?
I paid attention to what you were saying. So anyway, I like the book, personally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think it looks good. I think it tells an interesting story. Part one of an interesting story. And it gets more interesting
And like for
Part
certain
two.
characters, and like for certain characters, to not to spoil it, it's like it was like a breath of fresh air. Also working on it, like just like working on something different, especially for one of the characters that are mentioned in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like every like majority of the main cast is like getting a lot of also like their own development too in terms of like either how they handle stuff or like how they're moving forward with their lives in the future.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I guess we'd all recommend it.
Of course.
All right. So that's coming out September 4th, Wednesday.
Yes. Mark your calendar.
Mark your calendars. Yes. I think one year we were putting something out. We declared it Power Squared Day, and of course we're the only ones that took that. Yes. Mark your calendars, and it's available through the campus store on the website, and you can buy it in digital and print formats, and or actually just read it through Global Comics.
Yes.
So, anyway. So, I guess that's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, until next time, I'm David Hankins,
I'm Paul Hankins.
Trevor Hankins.
And I'm Julia Canon.
and you've been on the air with Power Squared.
Bye.
Bye.